morning, Debbie. Everybody else that's joining, good morning. Good morning, Glenda, Claudia. Okay, so this week on NiftyKnotz Talk, we are doing Spa Week. So far in Spa Week, we have done spiral scrubbies. We have done soap cozies. Hi, Samantha. Soap cozies. Body cloths. And today we're going to do headbands. And I've also decided that I think maybe next week I might extend Spa Week because today's Thursday. Because I have a few other things that I think that, like, if you made like a little spa box that you might want to actually put in that little spa box. So I think we might make like little cotton balls that are reusable, and maybe a little bag for our cotton balls so we can wash them, and then maybe a little bag that we can put everything in to wash it. So I think maybe next week I might extend Spa Week so we can like make our box full of like spa stuff. Good morning, Rochelle. Good morning, Barbie. Cindy. Thank you, everybody that's joining. My ridiculous goal up there, my raccoons, which are still eating my garbage. I do have traps set. Last year we were successful and we were able to trap them and relocate them. And this year we cannot seem to catch them. So, my ridiculous goal, raccoons, will probably be the rest of the month. Last year they crawled into my garage and had babies. Wasn't that fun? So, on today's tutorial, since I will probably have to jump out a little bit early today and not hang around and chat all morning. You guys do not have to encourage my ridiculousness. Okay, so I saw this tutorial for headbands because I'm not a big fan of crocheted headbands because I just don't think you get the stretch and they stay the way they need to stay. But looking through different ways to make them, I saw this woman that used a hair tie in the very back, which made it stretchy because I kind of wanted to make a headband that tied. So you had like this cute little tie at the top, like Rosie Riveter tie at the top. And what she did was she used a hair tie, and I'm sure you can get them in any colors. I'm not really sure. I'm going to have to stop and buy some more hair ties. I had to scavenge to find this one. And what she did, and this of course is one that's put together. Thank you guys. So I'll have to buy some that are like joined and that don't have the clips on them, but for today's purpose, I'm just going to use this one with the clip on it. What she did was she stretched out her hair tie, and then she tied it in a knot. So she stretched out that hair tie, and she tied it in a knot. Let's see if I like this. Which, I don't know how well that's going to work with this hair tie, but I think it would probably work with other hair ties because this one has the clip. But if I buy the hair ties that don't have, that are just, in a circle, this would work because this gives us a little bit of extra stretch. And that's kind of what I want. So that's pretty much what she started with. So that's what I'm going to start with. And I'm going to work and I'm going to build from both sides so that we can pull it up and we can tie it. And once it's tied in your size, you can pretty much slide it down and off any way you want. And since this was the ball that I started with that I made my hat, so I know that from one ball of I Love This Cotton, you would probably get the entire spa kit, but I'm not going to get the entire spa kit because I used the first half of this ball to make my hat. This is what I have left. And I want to make sure that I have enough to do both sides, since I'm going to work up one side and then work up the other side. So I'm actually going to weigh this. And to do that, you can just use, I have a postal scale that I weigh my yarn on. And if I weigh this, and I know you can't see it, but I'm going to weigh it in grams. I have 23 grams. So I know if I have 23 grams left. So I know that once I hit about 10 grams working up one side, I have enough to work up the other side. With the clip on the end and crochet over it. Probably. Janie! That might actually be a good idea. Let's see if I can get my knot undone since it's elastic. That might actually be a better idea. I was thinking about you this morning, Janie. I've been looking for you. Sometimes I see you, sometimes I don't. Okay. Managed to get that out. Almost. So I am going to take this one, I'm going to tie it so that the clip's on the end so I can crochet over it, because that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to crochet over it because I don't like to sew. Tie that in a knot again. You really do kind of have to stretch it, and then you kind of have to wiggle it to get that knot in the center. But I did like this idea because, like I said, it gives you that little bit, and if you have shorter hair like I do, you know that a thick headband in the back doesn't work real well because it just kind of slides up into your hair and it doesn't really hold your hair that well. So I think like this little part in the very, very back would be perfect. And you can probably find these in different colors. I'm going to have to look when I'm at Walmart and see if I can find them in different colors. Oh, that's okay. Listening works. Okay, so now I have my hair tie tied in the middle. And I'm just going to take one end and I'm going to join it with a slip stitch. I'll do this end first, since I am ultimately going to... Oh, I totally understand. Rochelle, I wouldn't even be alive at midnight. I'm like totally... Midnight for me doesn't work. I read from like 9 to 10, and by 11 o'clock, I'm out. So you have a good night. So I'm going to start my headband by just joining with a slip stitch. So I'm using standard US terms. So a slip stitch would be, I have my slip knot on my hook, and I'm just going to put it into my loop, and I'm just going to yarn over, and I'm going to pull through my hair tie and on my knot, the slip knot, and I'm just going to cinch it up a little bit to make it just a little bit tighter there. And you can see it's not quite joined around it, but when I chain one, it's totally joined around it. So I joined with the slip stitch, and I chained one, and I think just to make it a little bit smaller on the back, I'm going to single crochet 3, 4, I think 3. So I have 3 single crochets. So I have where I joined it, and I did my 3 single crochets, and my single crochet would be simply You're going to use this loop as it would be your stitch, and you would just insert your hook, yarn over and grab your yarn, pull it underneath your band, yarn over and pull it through the 2 loops. So now I have 3 single crochet. And I think I'm going to do, and then I'm going to chain 1 and turn. I'm not going to do an edge on this, I'm just going to keep going back and forth. So I'm going to do 3 more single crochets on the other side after I've turned. So that was 1 row of single crochet, I chained 1 and turned, and I got another row of single crochet, and I'm going to chain 1 again and turn. And I should be writing this down and taking notes so that I know exactly what I did. And this is one of those things you can customize with any stitch you want and do it any way you want. This is just a starting point. And I think I'm going to, just so I can make things like even in my brain, I'm going to do 3 rows of 3. So that was my first row of 3. That's my second row of 3. And then I'm going to do a third row of 3. So I chained 1 and I turned. And again, my single crochet is insert my hook, yarn over, pull it through my stitch, yarn over and pull it through 2 loops there, through my stitch, yarn over, pull it through the stitch, yarn over and pull it through 2 loops. So now I have 3 rows of 3 single crochet. And again, if I don't write it down, I want to make sure I get the second side even. So 3 rows of 3 single crochet. All right, good morning everybody that's joining. So I'm starting the first side of my headband. So 3 rows of single crochet, 3 rows of 3 single crochets. And now I'm going to start to increase. So I am going to chain 1. And I'm going to put 2 single crochets in the first stitch to increase. So I have the first stitch. The hardest part is getting it to focus. So you see my 1, 2, 3 single crochets there. I have my hook through my first single crochet, and I'm going to pull it through my stitch, yarn over, pull it through my 2 loops, and then right in the same space to increase, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to insert my hook into the same space, yarn over, pull it through my stitch, yarn over and pull it through my 2 loops. And then I'm going to single crochet in that second stitch. And in the very last stitch, so I made my increase, there's 2 stitches in that one, 1 stitch in that one, and I'm going to put 2 stitches in this one. That'll give me 5. So now I have 5 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to chain 1, and I'm going to single crochet back those 5 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I chain 1 and I single crochet back my 5 stitches. So I have 3 rows of 3, 3 rows of 3, I increased 1 row, 1 stitch on either end, which gave me 5, and then I did an even 5 stitches across. And now I'm going to increase 1 more time. So I'm going to do an increase row 1 more time, which is going to give me 2 increases, 1 on either side to make it even. I'm going to chain 1 and turn, and in the first stitch I'm going to work 2 single crochets, in the next 3 stitches I'm going to work 1 single crochet each, And in the last stitch, I'm going to work 2 single crochets. So now I kind of have it getting a little bit bigger. I want it skinny at the base of my neck, but then I want it big enough that it holds my hair back. And I think 7 will probably be a good number. And being that it's an odd number, I think we're going to do all eyelets, just to make it like a quicker project. Which is possible. If you're making eyelets in the round, you want an even number of stitches. If you're making eyelets flat, you need an odd number of stitches, because you will have your post, skip 1, post, skip 1, and you want to end with a post. So your post and skip 1 for your eyelet gives you 2 stitches, and you need to end your row with a post. So you always need an odd number if you're doing a flat row of eyelet stitches. And I think I'm going to do my eyelet stitches in half double crochets. So I will chain 2 for the height of my half double crochet. Hey Melanie! So I've chained 2 for my half double crochet. I'm going to chain 1 for my eyelet space, and I'm going to turn my work. And you can see the first single crochet here. I'm going to count this as my first half double. So I'm going to skip this one, because that's going to count as the stitch in this stitch. And then I'm going to skip the very next one, and I'm going to do my half double crochet in the next one. And my half double crochet would be yarn over, insert it through my stitch, yarn over, pull it through my stitch, yarn over, and pull through all 3. And then I'm going to chain 1, I'm going to skip 1, so this is where I did my stitch, skip 1, and in the next stitch I'm going to work another half double. So I'm going to yarn over, insert it into my stitch, I'm going to yarn over again, pull it through my stitch, yarn over again, and pull through all 3. And then I have 2 stitches left, so I'm going to chain 1 and skip 1, chain 1, skip 1, and in my very last stitch I'm then going to do my last half double crochet. So it's going to start giving me like an eyelet pattern. I'm doing it for 2 reasons. One, you can use just about any stitch that you can put together. You would just increase to the number that you wanted to increase it to get like your stitches. And 2, I'm trying to save some yarn, so this makes a taller stitch and uses less yarn. So a couple different reasons. So now to do the second row, I'm going to chain my 2 for the height, and that chain 2 is going to count as my first half double crochet. I'm going to chain 1, I'm going to turn, and that chain 1 that I just did counts as my eyelet, and then I'm going to yarn over, and into my next half double crochet I'm going to do a half double crochet. Have to get the door. I'll be right back. Well, and it looks like my husband, and it looks like he's coming in, so I'm just going to keep going. Because I can tell by the bags in his hands to, oh, you're right. The bags in his hands, and he's coming in. So I'm going to do 3 rows of 3 single crochet. Then I'm going to do an increase to 5, and then I'm going to do 5 even, do just my notes, and then I'm going to increase to 7, and then I'm going to begin my half double crochet eyelets. Because I would have totally not written that down. So I'm now just going to keep going across. I'm going to chain 1, skip my space, and half double crochet right into my half double crochet. Chain 1, skip my space, and my space is just going to be a chain 1, and then I'm going to half double crochet into the top of my turning chain there to give me, do that a little bit tight, to give me my 3 eyelets. So I've got 3 more eyelets. So I'm going to just keep working up. I'll show one more row a little bit close. So I'm going to chain 2 for the height of my stitch because I'm doing half double crochets, and that's about the height of my half double crochet. I'm going to chain 1 for my chain 1 that I'm going to skip. This counts as my first stitch on the side, and then I'm going to do my half double crochet, which again is yarn over, insert through my stitch, yarn over, pull it through my stitch, yarn over, and pull through all 3 loops. You could do these at double crochets if you want them a little bit bigger. Single crochets don't really give you an eyelet, it gives you more of like a seed stitch. But like I said, you can do this with any stitch pattern you want. If you wanted to make it wider, you could make it wider to use a different stitch count for stitch pattern. I'm doing this for the sake of trying to like make it through this ball of yarn and accomplish what I want to accomplish. So as you can see, it's growing. I am doing a headband. So as I make it grow, I'm just going to chatter a little bit. I've decided that I think tomorrow and the following week, I am going to extend Spa Week so that we can kind of like fill our little gift box with spa stuff. And I think I'm going to do like cotton balls, like little cotton balls. Thank you very much. And maybe a bag to put our little cotton balls in that are reusable. And then I think maybe, I don't know, I'm sure I could come up with other stuff. We could do like little eye patches, you know, masks. We can do a bag to put all of our stuff in. So I think I'm going to extend Spa Week. So you can see I'm just working up with my eyelets. Yeah, see, that's what I was thinking. And honestly, I came to that thought because when I was ordering boxes for my dad's art for shipping, they had these boxes that were actually really nice boxes. Like they had like the tops on them that folded down, and then had like the little sides that tuck in, so they were like cute little gift boxes. And I thought, oh, that's an idea. Could make like little gift sets and put them in those cute little boxes and decorate the boxes, or you know. Fun stuff like that. I'm going to try to get all the way to the top here, which I should be able to. And if I don't have enough yarn to finish it, that's okay. Because as long as I can finish one side. And then we're going to decrease it again at the top, so when we tie it, it looks like we have the tails to a bow. And I'm chaining 3 to turn, and I'm just doing my half double crochets, skipping my spaces. It's getting there, because you figure you want it at the nape of your neck. So this knot is going to be at the nape of your neck, and this is going to come up, and you could certainly make this wider if you wanted to. I have my earpiece on there. Oh, my other Cindy. Hi, Cindy. So if you wanted to make this wider, instead of just the 7 stitches around like I have, you would just kind of repeat an increase row. So after I did my 3 stitches, I increased to 5, and then I did a row even of 5, and then I increased to 7. You could then do an even row of 7 and then increase to 9 if you wanted this to be even wider. And then start your eyelets, and as long as you had an odd number, you would be able to work that eyelet pattern like that. Thank you. Depending on how many stitches you used, you could do like a shell stitch to go back and forth. If you wanted it solid, you could just do all single crochets all the way up. Totally what you wanted to make with it, but that's basically how we started it. And I should be able to go up a few more rows. And get to the top, I will tell you some of the other ideas that I might have had for how to work this headband. And I think I'm probably getting pretty close to where I want it to be. Yeah, I am getting that pretty close to where I want it to be. Pretty much exactly where I want it to be. I want it to be just about a little bit over my head, the top of my head. Fuzzy my hair is. And then I'm actually going to start decreasing. Hey Trudy, good morning. And then I can count my eyelet rounds. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. This will tie pretty easy. So I think I'm just going to do 3 more rounds of eyelet rounds. If you made a thicker swatch, or if you made a piece that was all a solid stitch, even though this cotton's pretty loose, if you made a solid stitch, it might be harder to tie, but you would still be able to tie it. So, but you might want to make it a little bit longer to compensate for the thickness. I'm not going to make this much longer because I don't have to compensate for too much thickness because I did the eyelets. And I'm just doing this so that I have an even, I guess I should weigh my yarn. Let me make sure I still have enough here to do my other side. Oh, more than enough. I still have 17 grams left, so I'm going to make this an even round, even rows of 20. 20 even rows. That way it's just like easier for me to remember. And remember, it's going to be adjustable because we're going to tie it. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. I'm going to do one more eyelet row. We've worked so many projects in the round that it's stuck in my brain there. Alright, so now I have 20 rows of my eyelet. It does look a little bit long, but remember, we're going to tie it at the top. So we want to cinch it in a little bit. And let me think of how I want to do that. I think I'm going to chain 2 for my half double crochet, and I'm going to turn. I'm not going to chain the 3rd stitch. I'm just going to chain 2 for the height of my half double crochet, and then I'm going to half double crochet again in this stitch, in the first half double crochet. So it's kind of going to give me, if you did double crochets you would see it a little bit better. It's kind of going to give me like a pointed eyelet where the eyelet slants up. And then I'm going to do my chain 1, and I'm going to half double crochet in that one, so that gives me 1 eyelet, sort of like a half of an eyelet and 1 eyelet. And then I'm not going to chain my 1, I'm just going to half double crochet in the last. So that gives me like 2 half double crochets on each side, 1 eyelet in the center, So it kind of gives me 4 stitches. So it gives me the 2 half double crochets, half and half, the chain in the center for 1 eyelet, and then 2 more half double crochets, so 4 stitches. So let me write that down. So I'm going to do 2 half double crochets, skipping first and last eyelet. Not eyeballs, autocorrect. So that gives me 2 half double crochets each side with 1 eyelet in the center. Okay, have that written down. So 2 half double crochets on each side. 1, 2, that's my starting chain, which counts as it. 1, 2, and 1 eyelet in the center. And I am going to single crochet 4. So 1, 2, getting those stitches, 3, 4. So I basically skipped the eyelet and I just put a single crochet in each one of my half double crochets. So a single over that half double, a single over that half double, a single over that half double, and a single over that half double. So it gave me 4 single crochets. Write that down. And I'm going to turn and do 4 more single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's just an even row. I think I'm going to do 1 more even row. 1, 2, 3, 4. So what I do there? 4. 2 even rows. Of 4 single crochets. And now I'm going to, I think I'm going to decrease the middle 2 stitches. Because I want to take this down to kind of like a point so it looks like a bow when we tie it. So I'm going to single crochet in the first stitch. I'm going to decrease over the middle 2 stitches and single crochet in the last stitch. So I'm going to chain 1 for my height and turn, and I'm going to single crochet in the first stitch. And to decrease, I would just insert my hook, yarn over and pull it through my stitch, insert my hook into my next stitch, yarn over and pull it through my stitch, and then yarn over and pull through all 3 loops on my hook. And then I'm going to single crochet in the last stitch, and it gives me 3 single crochets. I'm going to chain 1, and I'm going to single crochet back, 2, 3. So I decreased times 1 in the center for that row, and then I single crocheted 3 even for the next row. And now I think I'm just going to decrease through all of these stitches. So I'm going to single crochet all 3 of these stitches together. So I'm going to insert my hook through my stitch and pull up a loop. I'm going to insert my hook into the next stitch, the second stitch, yarn over and pull up my loop. And then I'm going to insert my hook into my last stitch, and I'm going to yarn over and pull up a loop. And then I'm going to pull through all 4 loops that are on my hook. And I'm actually going to do my chain 2 and cut that. You could probably, if you wanted to, you could turn and you could do 1 single crochet at the top, or you can just pull it and knot it at that point after you've decreased all 3 of them. I just decreased all 3 and then pulled it and knotted it. One of the reasons why I kept, whereas I had the eyelets here and I have solid stitches here, and I'm using a big hook so it looks like the stitches are much bigger, but the solid stitches are going to be easier for me to weave this end into. So now I have the top half of my headband, which might look a little bit big, but we're going to, you guys should still be able to hear me, I'm pretty close. But we're going to be able to take this headband with the elastic and we're going to be able to tie it. And I probably made that a little bit too long, but once you tie the knot, you're going to use some of that fabric up to actually knot it, so it won't be quite as long as it looks, if that makes sense. I probably could have done 15, like made it a little bit shorter. But we'll see what it looks like. If you give me 1 second, I may have time to stay here and do the rest of this. Let me just double check with my other half. Oh, perfect. I know what dinner is tonight. Oh my goodness. All right, so we get to finish this tutorial. I'm going to start working on the next side and finish this headband today. So I asked my husband, I'm like, what's up? I thought this wasn't exactly the plan. And he said, well, you sent me an email. I'm like, what? I sent him an email with the, you can tell you're getting old when like the supermarket flyer, sale flyer is like an important thing in your life. I sent him an email with the specials for the week at the local grocery store, one of which was chicken wings, which are really hard to get anymore, that were super cheap and on sale. At which point in time he saw that email and ran right to the store to buy 7 packages of chicken wings. Okay, that's going to be dinner tonight. So, yeah, and then he called his boss and said, there's no way these groceries are going to fit in the fridge. I have to go home. So, home he came, and that means I don't have to leave early. All right, so on that note, I'm going to finish this other side. So I'm going to go back to my notes. And to begin with, I did 3 single crochets in the top part of my band. I'm just going to work down the second side just like I did the first side. And yes, I know because I have that clip there, it looks a little bit different. I will, if I make these for other people, I will actually buy the hair bands, hair ties that don't have the connections on them. That way they'll be easy. And according to my notes, I did 3 rows of single crochet, 3 rows of 3 single crochets. And then the next row I increased to 5. So I did 2 single crochets in the first single crochet, a single crochet in the middle single crochet, and 2 single crochets in the last one. Which gives me 5. And I'm going to chain my 1 and turn, and I'm going to work back even 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, like I said before, you don't get studio quality here. You get like what's going on in my life. Although I have been really good about it in the mornings. But I just thought that was too funny not to share that. Okay, so now I'm going to increase to 7, which means I'm going to put an increase in the first and the last stitch, which is going to give me that right there. So 2 single crochets in the first single crochet, 1 single crochet in the next 3 single crochets, 2 single crochets in the last single crochet. And that's going to give me my 7 again. So that's to here. And the next one is going to begin my eyelets, which I think I made way too many rows, but we'll see. If I did make way too many rows, I just I can take out a few rows and finish the end again, which I probably will do. You guys know me well enough by now to know that I don't really care if I have to rip things out. I'm just like not real happy that I made that knot that tight. But it is what it is. That's one of the great things about being able to design your own things. You just rip it out and you make it the way you want it. So again, my chain 2 and my chain 1, my chain 2 for the height of my half double crochet, my chain 1 for my eyelet. This first stitch I'm going to skip because I'm going to count this as my first stitch. I'm going to skip the second stitch because that's going to be my eyelet. My third stitch, I'm going to do my half double crochet. Chain 1, skip the next stitch again. This is just the same thing I did with the first side. Half double crochet, chain 1, skip the next stitch, and half double crochet in the last stitch. So you see how you could like pretty much do any stitch pattern you wanted to work up this and make it as wide as you wanted to work up it, and then just decrease it at the top. I probably will when it's all said and done. Like I will make this so that it's even and tie it up and see if I like it, and if I don't and I think it's a little bit too long, I'll take out a couple of those eyelet rows and then do the top again. And to be honest with you, I'm really thinking I like this. I might actually make a few of these for myself because it drives me crazy to be out in the yard and it's breezy and windy and my hair's in my face. That makes me crazy. It makes me miserable. It like almost like it confuses my brain. Like I can't think right if I'm constantly have my hair. It's going to be cute with a bow. Yeah, that's what I thought too. And you know, I just like I said, I'm not a crochet headband person because they never seem to fit right. So I thought if I put the bow at the top of it, and then when I saw her do the the elastic in the middle like that, I thought, oh, that would be perfect because you could like tighten it up and make it um, exactly the size you needed it. And if it's stretched out in between washes, you it could still tighten it up. If it got too tight in between washes, I mean, you could just untie the bow and tie it looser. So I'm really thinking I like this. And I'm just going to work my way up. I have 20 rounds of these eyelets, and then I get to finish it off. And then I know this might sound really ridiculous, but I'm actually excited to make cotton balls. Just something small and like silly. Cotton balls. And I do have some white that I can use them with. See what happens when you see like a small box that you go, ooh, how much small stuff can I make to fit in this box and sell it as a kit? Or not a kit, but a set. Actually, that probably wouldn't be a bad idea. I could probably write all my patterns down that I wrote for this spa kit, and I could put all the yarn and all the patterns in the box and sell it as a kit. Because I get a lot of people that come to my booths in the summertime that go, oh, well, I can make that. I'm sure you guys do too. Oh, well, I can make that. Okay, I'm sure you can. Um, you know, I'm not offended. I look at things all the time. You see me do it all the time going, oh, I can do that. Maybe I'll put some kits on my table that have like the yarn in the pretty box that after you make everything, hey there, Billy Dawn. After you make everything, you can put it back in the pretty box and give it as a gift. Ooh, now that's an idea. My brain. It just keeps going. I think I like that idea. I could put a hook in there, my yarn in there, all my patterns in there, like a little, like gift for you label that they can put on the top of the box and personalize. For all of us crazies that go and walk up to somebody's booth and go, oh, I could make that. There you go. There's your box. Make it. And I'm not saying that in any way to be malicious. I'm just saying, you know, I would totally do that. I would look at that kit and go, I can make that. And then I would look at the fact that she was selling the kit with the yarn and go, oh, I can buy it now and make it? I would totally do that. What an idea. I make myself crazy sometimes.
Do you have socks I can use?
Yes, in the top plastic clear bin.
Which side?
On my side of the bed?
No, the left or the right?
Oh, on the right.
Thank you.
But you could order for me because you're sold. No, maybe, you know what? I just might do that. I might start doing that. Maybe I'll put some kits on my site. That would take a lot less time than actually making everything. The boxes, though. The boxes took, like when I ordered boxes to ship my dad's art, because I promised him I would put some of his stuff on my website, which I did. But I wasn't going to open a website for him because that would mean he would have to be held accountable for shipping and things like that, and he doesn't drive anymore, and he will be the first person that tells you he doesn't want to do all that. Ah, little pair of scissors. Yes. And a needle so you can tie in your ends. I can't believe you guys sit here and encourage me. But oh my God, I'm loving that idea. But the boxes, I ordered them from Amazon for my dad's stuff. And I ordered them last weekend, and they weren't supposed to come until Monday. So, like, over a week for me to get shipping boxes. And that's where I saw those cute little boxes that fold up like that on Amazon. Okay, I know I don't have 20 yet, but I'm getting there. But, ooh, you got my wheels turning now. You sell kits at your own shop. Kit knits mostly, but we need to find a good pattern for a crochet kit. Yeah, see, that's the tough part. It's the pattern writing. And like all of these, everything that I'm doing, you could probably find a million patterns for exactly the same thing online. There are like hundreds of people that make these, if not thousands of people that make these, hundreds of tutorials you can find, hundreds of patterns you could find. You know, it wouldn't be that I'm just selling my pattern for something that's so common that anybody can look up and follow on YouTube. It would be the same with the soap cozies. You know, everybody, there's a million of them out there, but in the same with the washcloths, I mean, ridiculously simple. But you put it all together, like maybe even include a bar of soap, a hook, a needle, a pair of scissors, the elastic hair ties. You put that all together, and that would be something I would feel confident in selling. Like, just to sell the pattern for something that like anybody can like access on the internet, I wouldn't feel right doing that. But to put that together as a kit that you could do all that with, I think that would be something really neat. And I also think that would be something that's sold on my table, not just in my shop. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. I have 5 more to go. Oh, wait till I tell my husband that idea. And I'll tell you what, he's so supportive. Like, for all the crazy things I come up with and try to do, he's just kind of like, sure, okay, whatever you want. I couldn't ask for anyone better. Whatever you want to do, honey, whatever you want to do. Yep. Well, that's what I would do. I would put absolutely everything in there that you needed. So the box that you could use as the gift box for your finished items, like a little decorative label maybe that you could stick onto the front of it, that you could fill out with like a little note or something, or a note card that you could put inside, that you could fill out, the hook to work with, the yarn to work with, the scissors, the needle. Yeah, I would sit there and I would make one, and absolutely. Yeah, isn't that fantastic? And those just starting out. And these are simple projects for people that are just starting out. A link to my tutorial. And I'm not just saying that to promote myself. Like, I sit here and like show the things. So, I mean, I could always put a link in there and say you can find me sitting and doing all this. if you needed help. Oh, the thinks you can think. Isn't that a Dr. Seuss? That's a Dr. Seuss. Oh, the thinks you can think. I think that comes out of, or the places you can go. Which I know I have that book here. Instead of the pattern, they could go to the link. Yes, but I find that some people don't like to do that. Some people like to look at a pattern. Like I have, I don't know if any of you were here that actually did my Catch of the Day drawstring bag. I think so. I think Trudy, you did that, I think. I have a lot of pictures in that pattern to describe how I did things. And I had one woman message me. Yes, okay, so I did remember that. See, I do try to remember things. I do pay attention. It may not look like it. It may look like my brain is like everywhere and I have a million thought bubbles there, but I do pay attention. You like to make notes as you go in a written pattern. I do too. So that's why I would also include like a written pattern, because the one woman had sent me a message and said, oh my God, there's so many pictures in this. Do you just have a pattern without the pictures to that Catch of the Day drawstring bag? So I went through and I made a copy and edited that copy and took out all the pictures, and she was happy as a clam. She didn't want any pictures on her page. She just wanted like 2 or 3 pages of just simple type stuff. So she didn't have to look at like a tutorial style pattern. It's like, okay, so now when you go to that link, you get 2 patterns, one with all the pictures and one without all the pictures. 7, 10. Ooh, that was 20 exactly. But I do the same thing. I take notes everywhere, which is why I actually started using like a notepad on my phone. Everyone is different. Because if I use a notepad on my phone, then I don't lose all my papers. And I'm almost embarrassed to say I probably have about 100 notebooks floating around. When we were doing the puppet tutorials, I said I had one with all the puppets and all the variations in. I still haven't found that one, but I know I have it. I just have to figure out where. And that was maybe I should start keeping things in like notes in my phone. All right, so I did my eyelets, and I did 20 rows of eyelets. So now the next one, I'm going to do my chain 2 for my half double crochet, and then I'm going to half double crochet in the very next half double crochet, skipping that first eyelet, and then I'm going to chain 1, and I'm going to half double crochet in the next half double crochet, and then I'm going to just half double crochet in the last double crochet, skipping that eyelet, and giving me 4 stitches. Okay, and then I single crocheted 4 even. 1, 2, 3, 4. One of the reasons why I write things down, because my brain just jumps from one thing to the next so fast that I have to write things down. Okay, so I did 4 single crochets. I'm going to do 2 more rows of single crochet even. 2, 3, 4. This is exactly the same way I did the last one. Chain 1 and 1 more even row. 1.
I'm ready when you are, bro.
2, 3, 4, and then I'm going to decrease the one in the middle, or over the 2 stitches in the middle, which gives me 3, so that's 1, and do my decrease, 2, single crochet in my last one, that gives me 3, and then I'm going to chain 1 and single crochet 3 even, 1, 2, 3, and then I'm just going to decrease all 3 of those stitches. See ya, have a good shift. Now you could at this point, like this one, I just did my decrease and I fastened it off. So this is what I was talking about. You can actually, if you want to, after you did that 3 together, you could chain 1 and put your single crochet here in the very top. It would make it like an even pointed, more pointed bow. And then just chain your 2 and pull it down. I'm not going to pull this one down too tight because I am going to make this a little bit smaller because I do think I'm going to use this. All right. I'm not weaving in my ends yet, but so that's what we have to do our hair tie. And I am going to see if I can get some colored ones just so they can match just a little bit better. So I'm not using like a black hair tie with blue yarn. I could use maybe white or off-white with the blue yarn or something. So now to try it on. I would then just take my glasses off too. I'm going to tie it down here. That way I can tie it a little bit tighter, and I can tie it once, and I can actually tie it twice. And I can tie it a little bit tighter because I just tied my hair in it. And then when I pull it up, I think it definitely needs to be a little bit shorter. A little bit shorter, it makes it a bow. A little bit bigger, it makes it a little bit crazy. Did I tie my hair into it? No. Yep, definitely needs to be a little bit shorter. Or I could actually tie it into a bow. Might be a little bit thick, but let's see. They have colored ones too. Oh, good. Okay, so this is how tight I want it. Can I tie this into a bow? The bow is going to end up looking like a knot. I would probably have my husband tie that because my husband, my crazy husband only wears a bow tie. So that's sort of a bow. Sort of a bow. But my husband wears a bow tie. So he could tie that like a bow tie. I guess if you wanted it like a real bow in it, you could make it longer. Here's my, it doesn't help I can't see anything without my glasses on. So I guess if you wanted like a real bow on it, you could make it longer so that you could actually tie a bow. or if you wanted to just tie it in a knot. If you wanted to just tie it in a knot, you could make it shorter so that you could just tie it in a knot. That gives me my little bow there on top. It's the best I can tie that there. A little bit longer and it would have been like a really neat bow. And then just push it back and get my hair out of my face. On my strings. So there you go. In all my craziness. So you could make it a bow. If you wanted to make it longer to make like a real bow, like I had the real bow here, I would probably do a couple more rows of eyelets than I did to make it a little bit longer. If you wanted to just be able to tie it in a knot and have the ends look like the bow, you could make it a little bit shorter and that would work. But boy, that hair elastic in the back makes it perfect for my short hair because it doesn't, like, I don't know, if you have short hair and you've ever tried to wear a headband, you know that it takes all your hair and just kind of like lifts it up and it looks funny in the back when you wear a headband. This doesn't do that with that elastic in the back. And it's stretchy enough that I could leave it like that and I still have the give in it, so I can make it tight enough around my head. Yeah, with the exception of all the ends there. I like the bow too. I think I might actually make it a little bit longer. Now I can't decide, but do I want to make it longer or shorter? I still have yarn left. A little bit. So, boy, I'll tell you what. Like I said, I'm not always real happy with crocheted headbands because I don't always like the way they fit. I like how that turned out with the hair tie in the bottom and being able to tie it at the top to make it the size that we need it. I think I like that. You like it as it is? I do too. I really actually do like this. I think I'm happy with that. All right. So another piece to add to our spa set. And tomorrow, I think I'm going to do cotton balls. It'll be easy. I can probably make a bunch of them. We could probably all make a bunch of them. I do have some, I think some off-white cotton or some different colored cotton. So I can make cotton balls. And then next week, we'll make bags to put our cotton balls in. And maybe like a sleep mask that we can put like some gel things in. Another successful live. Thank you. You guys did have a good idea. Boy, you guys just, I love it. I mean it. You guys encourage me. You guys tell me all the time how inspiring I am to you. You guys don't realize how inspiring you are to me as well. I really do appreciate that. It makes me happy. It keeps me going. Keeps me from getting bored. And I appreciate that from you guys as much as you tell me you appreciate sitting here with me. So, on that note, I have lots more ideas to come up with to put in our box. And now I'm going to go sit on Amazon and look for decorative boxes. At which my husband will be going, oh my God. Okay. On that note, thank you guys for joining me, and I will see you all tomorrow. We are going to make reusable cotton balls, and next week we're going to continue making bags for all this stuff. And I will talk to you guys later. Thank you. Hey, if you missed any part of the tutorial, you can jump on over to my YouTube channel, NiftyKnotz, and the playlist / podcast, NiftyKnotz Talk, is where I have all these tutorials uploaded. This one, as soon as TikTok's done with it, this video, this live, just as it is, talking about chicken wings and everything, where there's extra socks, all those funky things that you guys managed to hear. I will then upload it to YouTube, and you guys can watch it. Thank you guys so much. I hope you guys all have a wonderful day, and hopefully I'll see you guys all later on this evening just to kind of chatter. Thank you.